What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Doctor of Stuff channel. I am your host, Doctor of Stuff, and definitely have a pretty big topic to cover today. And it kind of started, well, before I get into that, as always, the disclosures, right? Not everything I say here is just my opinion. Nothing should be considered financial advice. And in fact, specifically what I'm going to be covering today, I'm just going to be pointing out facts and information, right? And people can make their own determination. I'll provide my interpretation of things. But look, it's really important because there's a lot of people out there, and some in general, very intelligent, right? And they will make posts and people, they will make assumptions based on what they know of this individual and basically make assumptions and say, okay, this person posts something that's true. And that's not always the case, I guess, right? Or I guess it's very important not to take things at face value. And I think that it's important, even anything that I post, right? Don't take anything I post at face value, right? Always do your own research. We just got to do that, right? So there were some allegations made on July 27th by the OMI Watcher account. Now, this account is tied to Crypto Bro, for those who know. From my understanding, supposedly, the OMI Watcher account is mostly handled by an intern. I don't know, but it is tied to Crypto Bro. And look, I've had good positive interactions overall with Crypto Bro. In fact, I've reached out to him in the DMs a couple times when I've been doing some blockchain research, and he has validated some of the things that I was seeing. And so, I mean, yeah, I think that in general, that some of the things that he's done have substance to it, right? But there's a couple things. There was a tweet through this OMI Watcher account. One of them was the misappropriation of funds of the tokens. And Patient Hodler did a fantastic breakdown of those claims and basically refuting them. So there's already one right there, right? Where this OMI Watcher account says some pretty sensational stuff. And then people have to take the time, because if you just take it on face value, you're like, oh my gosh, that's some serious allegations there, right? And then, like I said, Patient Hodler, I was going to do a video, and unfortunately, I just have to work in my schedule. And so sometimes it's not very timely. I would have loved to have done this video yesterday, but then my daughter got sick, fever, so I had to pick her up, and thought I had free time, and then I didn't have free time. So, but I'm doing it today, and it's kind of short notice because this is the time I have. But I think it's important to be covering this. And let's see, we got some comments here. Bill Gardner, what's up? What's first like? Well done, Bill. I love it. What's up, Big A? Tammy, hey, I got to talk to you, Tammy, about something. So I'll hit you up a little bit later. Kumo, what's up, man? I had a great time at San Diego Comic-Con, and I have heard that the New York Comic-Con is going to be insane. So anyone who's out there who is on the fence as to whether or not they're coming, you should be coming. You should be coming. And you know what I'm going to do here real quick too? I'm trying to, let me see. I'm going to see if I can't, man, my internet is okay. It's looking like my internet bars are okay. Let me know. I love it. People shouting each other out. Crypto Cosmo, what up? Had a blast with you, man. That was a lot of fun. Hope you're feeling good. There's some sickness going around there. So anyways, I don't know. Oh, Bill says he was chilling in Puerto Rico. You know, I did some work in Puerto Rico. I was there for 3 or 4 months out there. It was a blast. I had a blast. Went to this other little island with sea turtles. Got to literally swim right up next to it, doing some snorkeling. And man, those sea turtles are gorgeous. So I love it. People are saying what up in the chats here. Oh, guys, before we get going, San Diego Comic-Con, freaking phenomenal. I know that they're actually holding a space right now. So, O'Malley, I apologize. I know you're having this space, but your space has been going on a while. I appreciate you letting me get up there and just saying what up for a little bit. But when I was at San Diego Comic-Con, Andres Labrada was there at the addiction booth, and he did if you know, like the Addiction comic cover where uh, I think it's Mr. Licorice has those ring pops, you know, like that fist, and then Nikki's on the cover. So he did that cover, but I had him commission this piece of X-Men 97 #1, this Wolverine. You can see like he signed it down there. Oh my gosh, guys, this is so freaking dope. I love it so much. He did such a good job. San Diego Comic-Con was a blast, and I can't. It's crazy that New York Comic-Con, I feel like it's just around the corner. So the other thing that's behind me, guys, I'm just gonna have to take a picture of it. Maybe let's see if we can't open this here a little bit. I don't know this, but let's see. Hold on, I've already started, so I might as well. This is the Steve Cannon. Guys, I'm going for it. You know what? I'm freaking going for it. Okay. The Steve Cannon photo that I won from the Ecomi SR logo group. Check that freaking out, guys. That is dope. That is going in my office because I do not trust my kids. So I'm gonna have to. It's so big. I'm gonna have to move this paper now, but freaking love it. So, anyways, I had to show that off. I'll have to redo that later. That was impromptu, but I just got so excited. It's so freaking amazing. So shout out to Steve Cannon. That's incredible. It's not Harambe. So, but he was in Africa, and he took this picture. He calls it Bunyeri, and I think that's the name of the silverback there. But man, I got that framed, and it's going up in my office. They're renovating my office. So what I'll do is tomorrow I'm going in, and they're going to be hanging that up as they're putting in new furniture and stuff. And so I'll take a shot at that and post that. Let's see. Wes says, imagine seeing that in the wild. Yeah, he said that he was like 15 feet away, 10 feet away. It's something insanely close to the silverback. I mean, he's definitely putting himself in danger there, which is wild. So shout out to Steve. I love this so much. It's such an awesome. And I found out it's like number 1 of 9. So there's only 9 of those, and I got the first one. So I'm super pumped about that. I agree, Bill, that the photo was amazing. Wes, it was great. It was great seeing you at the party, man. And I'm glad that you got sorted with that whole, with Golden Silver logo redemption there. And Tammy, I'm glad you're feeling a lot better. That's awesome. So, hey, what's up, Ed? How you doing? And yeah, man, the Zidane. Look, Zidane is one of my favorite players of all time. Like Messi's at the top, but then it's Zidane next. Zidane, the finesse that guy had. Oh my gosh, insane! You guys are into soccer at all, and you don't know who Zidane is? You're crazy, first of all. But you got to look it up. I mean, this guy. I mean, he has the headbutt incident. You know, that was very disappointing. But apparently, the things that were said there, I can't really blame him for the headbutt. But I mean, that was terrible. But anyways, I digress, guys. Back to the topic at hand. Right, so I'm going to share my screen with you here. I think this is important to kind of get some context, right? So let's see, let's go here. All right, so we're going to go first of all with this first tweet. So the OMI Watcher account says, Ecomi insiders clearly front-running the OMI to NFT announcement one day prior to it being made public. Once again, it's a bad look for the project and team, where their greed was blatantly obvious for everyone to see and understand. So let's just let that sink in. What that accusation is saying, right? Basically, insider trading. Well, let's back up away from that a little bit. For it to be insider trading, the token has to be declared as security. It has not been declared as security. So you can't actually call it insider trading. That being said, there's still some pretty serious, allegations basically saying, hey, the team with the information is front running this and, buying up the token. And that's what this is saying, right? So prior to, you can't really see this, but trading volume here. So the day before the announcement, there's this massive spike. Let's see if we can't get, okay, here we go. This is better. So it's saying basically $7 million, $6.8 million in trading right before the announcement, right? And this just shows you don't know what exchange this is on or where this is coming from. And that's important as I'm going to dive into this, right? So one day prior to the only the NFT announcement, here's this trading volume of $6.8 million. So remember that, okay? That's a substantial amount. I mean, let's just look at this again. Like the day before, $261,000 in trading volume. The day after the announcement, right? So the 23rd, when the announcement actually happened, there's $700 and almost $90,000, and then it tapers off again, right back to around $250,000. So again, this is very important, and we'll get to that. So now we're going to get to Foster's tweet. Now, I was going to actually address this, but Foster beat me to it. And you know what? He's a little bit more verbose than I am, for sure. And he kind of dives into things. So I wanted to break it down. For people. So the first thing that he says is pretty serious allegations made here, right? Basically alleging that the team is front running and that there's, right before the announcement, they purchased up almost $7 million worth of tokens. Okay. That's what it is implying. That's what I'm inferring from that tweet from the OMI Watcher account. So he says, I believe accountability and transparency are important. So I decided to look into this further. And here's what I found. It's a long read. It is a long read. And I'm going to break it down, though, because there's a lot there. And I think that, again, like one of the things that my YouTube account tries to do, right, is kind of bridge the knowledge gap for people who really aren't familiar with blockchain or Web3. And they're seeing some of these claims and they're like, I don't know, like OMI Watcher account, like it seems like a legit count. So again, breaking this down. So he said, the first thing I found interesting is that looking at the chart from CoinMarketCap, I see almost identical price action, but on trading volume of 300,000 and not 7 million. So what he's saying there is on CoinMarketCap, right? He's looking at that day and he doesn't see this $7 million in trading volume. So he's like, that's odd. The CoinMarketCap isn't showing that. But this account, this snapshot, and again, that screenshot, right, that's posted, it doesn't say where that information is coming from. So he just says this, of course, could just mean that CoinMarketCap is incorrect and that CoinGecko is right. So I dug further. The second thing I considered was what this amount of volume would do to the price of a token that is regularly trading in the $300,000 to $500,000 24-hour daily range, right? So if you have a token that, like OMI, let's say that OMI's been trading in the like 0.004, 5, 0.005 range for quite some time now. So, and that's about he's saying $300,000 to $500,000 daily. And with that trading volume, some swings up and down. So, let's see. Okay, so post-announcement, both CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko were reporting approximately 700,000 in trading volume, which is about 50 to 100% higher volume than the recent average, which resulted in a 25% increase in price. So, right, we were seeing that the trading volume beforehand, right, was about 250,000. Then it jumps up to 500 to 700,000. And with that jump, that 2.5 times trading volume increase, the price pumped approximately 25%. Okay, so seeing that the alleged volume of 7 million, which is 25 to 40 times higher, than the recent average the day prior to the announcement, that it didn't move. So that $7 million, alleged $7 million in trading, did not move the price more than 2% in either direction seems impossible with the liquidity and trading volume currently present. So what he's trying to explain there, right, is, again, if you have daily trading volume of $250,000 to $500,000, and then all of a sudden there's a spike to $7 million, you would typically see, because of liquidity there in the market, there's the potential for a large increase in the price of the token, right? And we saw that and that's what he's pointing to before, right? When you see after the announcement, then all of a sudden the trading volume goes to 700,000 that day, and then the price increase is 25%. Well, then with $7 million in volume, you would expect to see a pretty significant increase in price, right? So he's like, but I didn't see that, so I continued to dig. And he said, it's worth noting that this transaction would be incredibly easy to locate on Base, as all transactions are directly recorded on chain. So it took only a few seconds to rule that out and only left these transactions occurring on exchanges as an option, right? So you'd be able to see it either on ETH or on Base chain, this $700 million in trading volume. Because again, all we're seeing is that snapshot. We're not seeing where that information is being taken from, right? So he's trying to look at and take out all of the different potential places that this transaction volume could be. Since he didn't see it on chain, he's like, it's got to be on an exchange. So he says exchanges use order books, most exchanges, by the way, not all, order books for limit orders, and I consider that this could be an explanation, as a massive sell wall on an exchange could have been purchased by one or multiple entities, explaining the sudden volume spike without the corresponding price action. So let's say, right, that you maybe have a whale who's disenfranchised, and he's got billions of tokens, and he's like, you know what, screw it. I just want out. And so he puts these limit orders, and he's saying, hey, like, I'm down to sell my billions of tokens at 0.0047. So this really big sell wall. And so if someone had taken that out, you could see a massive increase in volume of purchases without that corresponding price increase, right? Because if someone had set those limit orders really low and there's that sell wall, that is a potential explanation for this massive increase in trading volume the day before the announcement without a corresponding price increase. So that's what he says, right? So then he says, I'll get to Big A's comments here in a second. Using Arkham Intelligence, I was able to explore several metrics about the token that may shed more light on the situation. So for 7 million in trading volume at current price, it would require approximately 14 billion tokens across one or multiple exchanges to achieve this volume referenced. Okay, so at the current price, all things equal, it 0.0047, basically you would need 12 billion tokens or 14 billion tokens to equal $7 billion. $7 million, right? So that's a crazy amount of tokens that you've got to sell, or that there's got to be trading volume on to equal. Now, again, that's assuming that the price doesn't change. That's a big deal. So the price doesn't change, and you're keeping it at around 0.005. Let's just say 0.005. That's easy math there. So then he says, reviewing the list of top holders, some of which are exchanges, it turns out that there are only 7 wallets which hold enough OMI to support this volume. Most are wallets like the Vault, so Vivi's Vault, the Reserve, the Business Development, etc. It turns out that there's only one exchange that would have enough OMI to support this volume, X, which, as we know, is locked up still. And now they've made that announcement. I know that people have been trying to withdraw. That hasn't happened yet. Hopefully we start seeing action there. But obviously X, that's not happening. So we can easily conclude that this is not the case, as the exchange has not allowed trading since it went down 5 months ago. I then considered that maybe another exchange had a lot more OMI on it, and that these insiders reference simply the Ecomi insiders simply withdrew their OMI from exchanges after they purchased them. Arkham has a tool that shows exchange inflows and outflows from over the last 7 days, which peaked at 10 million OMI entering and 42 million OMI leaving exchanges in that period. That's all of the exchanges, okay? So that means that we've now ruled out that it was on the blockchain, so it had to have been on exchanges. And so that means that if the trading volume happened on exchanges, one of two things. The volume either happened on the exchanges and the people kept their money on the exchange, or they withdrew it. But as we can see here, there's only 42 million OMI leaving. And we just said that to get that $7 million, you need $14 billion in tokens. Or around that, let's say 7 billion, 10 billion, right? Like, I mean, anyways, I'd say in the billions. But in the last 7 days, the most entering and leaving was 42 million throughout that 7-day period. So that means that then the tokens, if there was that trading volume, had to stay on the exchange. So Foster is saying this represents a fraction of the percent of tokens that would be required to support this theory. Having considered all these options, I've concluded that there is no rational way to describe volumes of this level with the liquidity and price action observed. What you are being asked to believe is that one or more whales, but the Ecomi whales or Ecomi insiders, right, hold 90% of the tokens currently available on multiple exchanges, all of whom decided to place sell walls at the same time. So you have to have whales, basically enough accounts posting 14 billion worth of tokens, of 14 billion OMI tokens on exchanges, and that one or more whales, Ecomi insiders, right, who had millions of dollars, $7 million in liquidity on these exchanges, that came in and decided to buy all of these tokens on the same day and then withdraw none of them from any of the exchanges after. For those of you that made it to the end, thank you for taking the time to consider all of the information. I encourage you to do your own research, which, guys, always do your own research. This is what I do too. When I look into these claims, and I say this every time, right? I am completely open to the possibility that I am not seeing everything that I should be with VV and Ecomi. I do have some bias. I like the team members. I've met all of them in person. I think they're fantastic individuals. I've had nothing but pleasant experiences with them. And I love the community. So I know that there is an inherent bias there. And so whenever I see these posts, I do my own research to say, okay, is there something I'm missing here? I got to dig into this. So it's important for you to do that. Now, again, there are some people who don't understand the blockchain or some of these things, and that's why I do this, right? Is to help out there. So he says, on a personal note, I believe that this account knew exactly what they were doing, and while I'm disappointed, I'm certainly not surprised. There will always be those who will root for our failure and downfall at all costs. I look forward to continuing to build and proving them wrong. So we're going to get into the responses here that I am. Okay. So Crypto Bro, like I said, he's tied to the OMI Watcher account, and he just posts this, right? This, like, I can't believe this. Like, basically, you're an idiot, Foster. And shout out to O'Milly Tees. He says, nah, bro, you got to say something more than this. Is he wrong? Fair question. Now, he says, I'm not going to bother addressing it all, which that's an issue for me. Okay. This is just in general with anyone. If anyone makes a substantial claim like that, and then there's a counter argument, and then that person or that account does not address those counter arguments, that is a massive red flag for me. That's a huge red flag. Because if you're going to take the time to make those type of accusations, you better have all your ducks in a row. And I tweeted that out, right? I basically said, like, this is libel, like lawsuit worthy libel. Like, right? Like, this is not good. And the Ecomi team would be well within their bounds to basically file a lawsuit against this OMI Watcher account and the intern or whoever's handling that account, because that's libel, and especially if it's not supported, guys, because this hurts. So you can say that this hurts the volume. It hurts. Yeah. It's so, again, I take these, anytime someone makes allegations like this, I take them very serious because I have a lot of money in Ecomi and VV. and I got to see if there's something that I'm missing here. And so the fact that they say I'm not going to bother addressing it all, red flag. Now he says, as most of it is based on Foster's complete misunderstanding of trading volume, okay, and how it is reported on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. So fine, maybe he misunderstood. That's fine. So I looked and saw that the volume source was Gate.io. So again, this is him basically saying that he's not the one who tweeted this out, that apparently the intern did for OMI Watcher. And so he looked and saw that volume source was Gate.io. CoinMarketCap does not report the correct volume because the API for the trading pair is simply broken on their website, right? So this is where he's showing Gate.io here. Now, this is volume in 24 hours, $1,637. This is weird. I don't understand that. But and then the next one here, this is the OMI ETH, and this is the day in reference, right? Where again, when Foster's saying about 14 billion tokens, right? This is saying that there was over 12.5 billion tokens that exchanged hands on the day before this announcement, right? So look, we're going to get to some comments here real quick, and let's see. So Real Ronnie Chavez says, love your breakdowns. Appreciate you, fam. So good hanging out with you. That was so much fun. Big A is saying volume is both buys and sells. Okay, true. And I personally counted for $22,000 of the volume, bought 10K and sold 12K an hour later. Okay, we're going to talk about that, right? Because the transaction volume and what it's showing is pretty messed up, and we'll get to that in a little bit there. But we're still missing like $6,978,000 worth of trading volume. So let's say that it's even $3.5 million each, right? Like it buys and sell. Like, I mean, anyways, let's see. There's some people chatting about. I won't even mention his name. Sports. Not a fan of what they did there during the Olympics. EV Avatar. You know what, Amar, like Anzaid, I didn't know that was your are we friends on Twitter? It was definitely a pleasure meeting you, but I got to follow you on Twitter. I didn't know that was your account there. Why didn't pump 25% and then dump 25% in less than 24 hours? Oh, why did it? And then you got Big A, because it's established pattern for the past year, pump on any news, then dump. Dump used to take much longer, but now dump has almost been instant. Will happen again on any D23 news. Sit below. What happened? I've kind of been going through it. If you haven't been watching, and I hope I'm saying that right, sit below. But yeah, basically there's some allegations here, and we're covering it. We're going through the allegations and then the responses and rebuttals. So, look, like I responded to say, so there's 12.5 billion in volume on Gate.io, and almost nothing happens to the price. Something isn't adding up. He says there's many explanations for this, but I don't have time to write them because I have to prepare for the potential libel lawsuit. And I said, yeah, you're not wrong about the potential lawsuit. Like legit, they have a substantial case. You've yet to actually support your claim. Like, and to date, so this has been a day, right? And I'm still waiting for I'm still waiting for a response. I think it's very, very important, right? And so then let's get kind of to Foster's response, and I think that this kind of fully covers it to date as to what's going on, right? And Foster just says, hopefully you can address these instead. No better to improve my comprehension than the present, because remember, Crypto Bro was making fun of him, like, I can't believe that you don't understand what you're talking about here, your response. You don't understand these things. So Foster's like, hey, educate me, right? First question, did you write the post on the OMI Watcher account? We have spoken previously, and you have indicated that while you have access to the account, an intern mostly writes. So just want to make sure that we are clear on that. Now that you have indicated Gate was a responsible exchange, can you confirm how much OMI is on the exchange currently? So FYI, I'm on here, and you know what? I'm going to present you the other screen here. Let me present. So on Arkham Intelligence here, I'm going to present this screen. And basically what you can see here at the bottom left is the addresses of the top holders of OMI, okay? You're going to look here. There's, you got, sorry, I was scrolling. So you got Bit4X, Ascendex here, and then you've got Gate.io. So remember, we were talking about 12.5 billion tokens or more that had to have been exchanged, right? Purchased and sold, and that $7 million worth of that had to have happened. Well, Gate.io only has 3.4 billion. And we already established that there hasn't been more than not in the billions of withdrawals. So then we're being asked to believe that basically these 3 billion tokens were cycled through 4 times. That doesn't make sense. That absolutely doesn't make sense. So there's that, right? So I got to stop my screen. We're going to go back to the other. All right, back to the screen. So now that you have indicated that Gate.io is responding to exchange, can you confirm how much OMI is on the exchange currently? Arkham puts it at 4.134 billion. So this is the one that I just showed you is as of today. So there's been, I guess, about 700,000 tokens that have been taken off the exchange. The daily reported as green, and the monthly then reports it as red. And it is never observed on the 1 month, 1 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, or 4 hour charts. Can you explain why trading volume of such a significant amount would not be reflected consistently across the timeframes on the charts? So what he's saying there, right, is that he looked at the hourly, from the hourly to weekly, and then back to daily, and that's how he was able to actually see that the volume there. And so when Big A was talking about that, it's very difficult to actually even find what this is. So, and I've seen this before, these weird spikes, it can actually be a glitch in the reporting system. Okay. And this is what it seems to be, because they don't even have 12 billion tokens on there. So I don't even know how this is even saying that there was $7 million there, and that 12.5 billion or 14 billion, whatever it was, of tokens traded in an hourly time frame. It's insane, Look, I mean, Jim Guy, you can laugh all you want. You explain it to me. I'm open to it, right? I'm just telling you, I've seen other glitches, not just with the OMI token, where basically on an exchange and they're talking about a token and they're just crazy, spike, thing, and it just happens. But, okay, talk about bias. Okay. You seem to be biased because all you're doing is laughing instead of providing some support. So I'm going to not show your comments anymore, and I'm actually going to silence you unless you can actually provide some actual support to refute anything that I've been saying. If you don't have that, you got nothing, man. So enough of that. All right, this is just a clown. We're going to ban that user. I don't ban people, but what a clown. You know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't call him a clown. But the individual came on. They have nothing good to say. They have no support, and they're just trolling. So, anyways, number 3, I acknowledge I was able to reproduce this candle you reference on the daily, but only after switching. Oh, I already said that, right? So these are questions. Observation. The volume of OMI ETH pairing on Gate is abysmal at best. According to the exchange, there has never been a day in the last 18 months, other than the day you noted, where the volume was higher than 44 million OMI. It's about 22,000 USD. And there has never been an entire month of trading volume over 1 billion OMI, which is about $500,000. Other exchanges have more liquidity and volume, and even the OMI USDT pairing on Gate regularly sees 200 to 500,000 OMI daily trading activity. So again, what we're being asked to believe is that truly out of the blue, 14 billion OMI tokens are traded on an exchange that doesn't even have that many tokens, right? And that it didn't pump the price. The only way to explain that is that there were massive sell orders or bots going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and paying those fees. Like, it's just not adding up. Like, it doesn't. Like, and to sit there and then say that this is the team front running this announcement just seems absolutely without merit. But again, I'm open to. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting for Crypto Bro to come on and actually explain this more, because, like I said, I've talked to Crypto Bro in the past. I think that overall, like, he's very, very knowledgeable about this space. But this claim and also the misappropriation of funds claim have been refuted. Like, the misappropriation of funds claim, again, Patient Hodler refuted that perfectly. I was going to do a video. He already covered it. But basically, I would have said a lot of the same things. There was a couple other things that I would have pointed out. But what I'm kind of concerned about now with this OMI Watcher account is there seems to be an agenda there. And that's important, right? Because then, unfortunately, even if this account actually starts to put out information, if you're constantly putting out things that are refuted, then you start to say, like, should I even be paying attention to what this account has to say? And I don't like that. I would like to be able to pay attention to these accounts, to be able to trust them. But again, what we're seeing here is it doesn't seem like this is the case, and that's concerning to me. Number 4, he says, I've seen a few comments speaking on trading or exchange bots being a potential source of this volume. Again, even if that's the case, you're saying that with let's say that it was 4.1 billion, because Foster said that at the time he looked at it, there's 4.1 billion. That means that 4.1 billion tokens had to be circulated 3 times in a matter of hours. That's not happening. That's not happening, guys. Why? There's just no logical explanation for that. Truly, I can't. And I try to look and say, is there something there? So, all right. So he says, given the over 3x, the total volume of tokens being held by the exchange apparently changed hands. And I just said that. Do you believe that there's any merit to these claims, and what would be the purpose if so? And that's the same thing, right? Like, I can't think of a logical reason why those tokens would have been circulated more than 3 times in a matter of hours on Gate.io. What's the purpose of that? I don't understand that. And final question. You observed the chart and felt that you were able to immediately conclude that it was a result of insiders. That's the other thing, right? Is that you see this big spike and automatically you're saying this is Ecomi insiders. Where's the support for that? Given that neither the amount of liquidity, historical activity, or trading volume on the exchange observed seems to support this, can you explain how insiders managed to purchase the cumulative volume of over 3 times what the entire exchange holds in reserves, right? So the insiders had to come in, and with the 4.1 billion tokens that were on the exchange, they had to purchase a cumulative volume of 3 times that amount, while not moving the price of the token that historically trades at 1/40th to 1/50th of the volume at all, and why the exchange has seen no net outflows or massive net outflows of the tokens to private wallets after the fact. Bonus points if you can explain why they would do this via an exchange, and the day before an announcement they allegedly knew was coming, where the information would be observable and lead to these questions, including being able to track their wallets and identify them, rather than doing a deal OTC, right? So again, like, this is just trying to break down the logic of it. Why would they do this the day before the announcement? Why would they do that? So they could try to do it OTC. They could have been buying little by little. Like, there's so many other ways to do this that to automatically just say, see this volume and say it's Ecomi insiders from the team and that they're doing this is a pretty serious claim. And I believe that as of all this thing, this is why we're not getting a rebuttal, is because there is no support for those claims. Now, I'm open. I am open to being wrong on that. And look, I'll address it. I'll make another video if there's some substantial rebuttals from Crypto Bro or the OMI Watcher account that basically breaks that down. I'd love to see that. I hope to see that, right? Because otherwise, again, like, this is libel. You can't just throw that out there, right? I mean, at some point, man, some of these claims, like there's just the potential for legal action there, and I don't like to see that. But man, that's just crazy stuff. So, and look, I said, look forward to a well-supported actual response from this, right? And tagged them. That was a day ago, and nothing. And again, so my thing is this, and this is just in general, one of the reasons I wanted to, let's see. Okay, so Big A is saying a lawsuit leaves them open to discovery. So VV could be court ordered to open the books, which is hassle they don't need aside from lawyer costs. Aside from lawyer costs, sure, but you know what? Like the account could have to pay for the attorneys. If they win, there won't be lawyer costs, right? Like OMI Watcher or Crypto Bro would have to pay those, especially if they lost. Now, look, it could be a pain, right? And maybe they won't do that, but I'm hoping at some point that they do it to someone. There's been some pretty fantastical claims here, and without support, and there's got to be repercussions for that at some point. So we'll see if it ever happens. It might not, right? But that's why I said like it's lawsuit worthy. If it actually happens, who knows? And maybe they want to open the books, and maybe it's a hassle. And there's discovery, but like it's only within the realm of this stuff there, right? And again, like we just supported how none of this makes sense. So good luck getting the information you're going to need to support that claim. It's a real risky position to put yourself in there. Yeah, and this is my thing. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. There doesn't seem to be any. And I think that's going to be the first thing here, right? Is it's just like, okay, defense, like, where are you coming up with this? How are you determining that, any of this price action, which doesn't even seem to be real price action? I don't know. I don't know what that is, but it just doesn't make sense. And I've yet to hear a good explanation as to what that is. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Again, like I said, there's been other things with Crypto Bro has tweeted out that like I follow, and he makes some good points, but specifically with the whole misappropriation of funds, and then with this tweet in particular, and maybe it's not him, it's this OMI Watcher account, whatever, there seems to be an inherent bias there and making some pretty fantastical claims that are not supported there. And at some point there could be legal action taken against that. So anyways, fam, I just wanted to do a breakdown of that because it was a lot of information, and hopefully this broke it down in a more palatable format for you guys. And look, if you guys have additional questions, I'd love to answer any. Put them in the chat, and I can do a follow-up video if necessary. But look, I appreciate the support, guys, and as always, just hey, oh man, I swear I always forget to do this. If you haven't already, smash, push, crush, gently caress the like, subscribe, and all notifications buttons. If you guys like this content, if you'd like to see more content, I'm trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark to get myself monetized there, because that's another thing that also helps is once I hit the 1,000 mark, people take the account more seriously. It's just a psychological thing. So anything that you can do, this is a free way to support the channel. I'd love for you to do that. Also, you can retweet it. I put this post on X, and follow me on X at Doctor of Stuff as well. But let's see. I'm going to see if there's any other. Let's see. Oh, subscriber really subscribed. There we go, guys. All right, let's check to see if there's any more comments before I end the stream. Oh, okay, yeah. So speculation on any D3 announcement and what that can be. Oh, let me get out of I can stop sharing my screen here. I haven't thought a lot about what the D3 announcements could be. So first of all, it's awesome that VV has a booth at D3. So that's exciting in and of itself. And all I'm seeing is that Disney and VV continue to kind of be embedding deepening the relationship more and more. And that's bullish for me, right? Because I know that there's been a lot of claims and saying, well, what if Disney just goes out and does their own thing? And look, that is a possibility in the future. But for now, right, what I'm seeing is that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to me that they're just deepening that relationship. And so I don't know. Is there going to be more golden moments? I hope not. Maybe more platinum moments. there. It would be interesting to see. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts on this too, right? Could we ever see like a trading game of NFTs, right? Because I have some of the Lorcana to see trading cards in that game. Could they do something like that? Could they develop a game online that's tied to NFTs and you can win these things? That would be interesting. Diamond moments incoming. I'm I think the platinum moments look pretty spectacular. And one thing that I am interested in is what they look like in the VV verse. Now, I don't have huge expectations for the VV verse. I did a year, 2 years ago, maybe, you know, but I am thinking that it's just going to be an expanded showroom, but that the collectibles are going to look so much nicer than they currently do in the app. So, yeah, I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are because, at the time I'm thinking Ready Player One down the road, and, I'm going to be able to, with my character, be using my hoverboards and my characters there, and I just don't think that we're anywhere near that with the VVverse. But I'm still looking forward to getting access to that and spending time in it because, and hopefully it's easier to manage than my vaults. I think if it's easier to manage and it's on my computer and the collectibles look a lot nicer, I'd definitely be willing to spend time putting things together again, right? And I think that that's important even just for like grassroots marketing is people using their VV verse areas to actually do that because 2 years ago with the Vaultaholics there's so much content that was being created. We still see some there, which is awesome. Shout out to the Vaultaholics and those that are still building. It's freaking awesome. Tails, you specifically, right? Like I love that. But there's a couple that are just blanking out of my mind right now that I wish I could shout out that have been creating some content, which has been fire recently. But I think that it would be even more incredible once that happens. But then Big A say, I think the future of VV to thrive will be partnering with true metaverse games, not building something from scratch themselves. That's another thing, actually. That's a good point I want to address because there's a couple things that I keep seeing fudding wise is that, Ecomi pivoted. They're no longer doing the burns that they completely changed everything. And it's true. Like they did, right? Like that was one of the things Crypto Rain and I co-authored an article saying why OMI is my homie back in 2021. And outlined some of the things that we just loved about the token. One of them was the burn buyback mechanism. I thought that was phenomenal. But what wasn't happening that time is the SEC, they had targeted XRP by that time, but no one else really. And then what we started to see is the SEC started to do regulation by enforcement action, right? So instead of putting out guidance on things, they just started saying, hey, you're basically breaking the law here. We're going to sue you for millions, and not actually making the clarity that they need to. And so a lot of projects, not all projects, but a lot of projects who are trying to think long term were like, oh my gosh, and they did a massive pullback. And I'm sure that VV talked to their attorneys and basically started to say, what are the things that we implemented in our first iteration of the tokenomics that now leave us open to being called a security? And one of them was the buybacks. That's like almost like assured thing that if you're doing token buybacks, more than likely a security. And so they had to pull away from that. On top of that, and this is where I'm going when you were saying partnering with other projects, is there's a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, they're partnering with Stacker to do the OMI to NFT. Like, why aren't they doing it within the VV app? So for those of you guys who didn't see the Dapper Labs lawsuit, right, there was a class action lawsuit against Dapper Labs. And basically, Dapper Labs tried to dismiss the case before going to trial. And in that, what happens is they go before a judge and they kind of provide their reasons as to why the case should be dismissed. And ultimately, the judge said a couple things, right? They said, look, you manage the marketplace with the token, the flow token. You own, you control the flow blockchain, you control the flow token, and you control the marketplace. And all of those things together, I don't know how you get away from the based on the efforts of others prong of the Howey test. So in this kind of agreement that they tried to make with the class action lawsuit filers, one of them was like, hey, we're going to create this DAO that's going to operate the flow blockchain. And there's going to be some separations there of the marketplace and a lot of other things there so that we're not in control of it. Like the team is not in control of it. So one of the best ways to do that, to protect the OMI token, and guys, like, can I just say this? Like, we don't want the OMI token to be considered a security. That will not be a good thing. Could Vivi weather the storm? Potentially. But we saw that XRP paid over $100 million in attorney's fees. Now, they won most of it, right? They won some pretty big portions of it, but at a significant cost to the company, right? Imagine what XRP could have been doing with $100 million. I don't want to see a lot of profits from Vivi going into this lawsuit, right? Potentially, like, of whether or not it's a security. So what they're trying to do is create those degrees of separation so that it's not, guys, so that the OMI token that we have, like, continues to exist. This is such a big deal, such a big deal. So it's very important that they create that degree of separation. So now that Stacker, that the OMI token is operating on a completely different marketplace. So you will not see the OMI token, the ability to use the OMI token to purchase things on the Vivi app. It will be on a third-party website that's not controlled by them. And that creates, again, that degree of separation to really kind of break down that based on the efforts of other prong of the Howey test so that they can distance themselves from that, right? So they continue to try to do things to ensure that their token is not considered a security by the SEC. Now, what I'm hoping happens, and it might take a year, right? But if Trump is elected president, right, like day one, he's going to fire Gary Gensler, and he's going to get someone in there that actually like will work with, hopefully work with all of the crypto, projects out there, right, to create some, and with the lawmakers, right, to create some regulations and some clarity in the space, because that's so difficult for a project or a company to navigate when they're just like, we would love to do this, but we don't know if we're going to get sued if we do this. Oh, and by the way, the projects that we've seen approach the SEC to say, hey, we're doing this, or can we do this, then get sued or issued a Wells notice by the SEC. Like, that's not good. And that's not typically how government entities should operate or do operate, right? So anyways, let's see, any other comments here? We've got any new cryptos I should ape into, not financial advice. Look, off the top of my head, like there's, I'm still looking at some AI tokens. I think the AI is going to continue to pop in and out of narratives. And so there's a project, and this is just me, right? So I'm just going to talk to you about some of the ones that I'm doing there. But TARS AI, I've bought some. It seems to be trading in this range of like, I can't remember if it's 1.2 cents or 12 cents. Hold on just a second. So I made some good money trading kind of within this range, even though, so I did, full disclosure, right? I did the pre-sale of it. So I already have a significant amount of tokens that still haven't been airdropped to me, but I've still been buying them anyways. The ticker symbol is TAI. It's TARS Protocol, but their account Twitter is TARS AI. Okay, sorry. So it's been trading kind of like 10 to 17 cents range. And it's big ups and downs. And so I've been trading within that and doing pretty good. But it's the fully diluted valuation is 124 million at this point, market cap of 14.8 million. So again, I'm trying to look at kind of lower market cap tokens that are in potential narratives. So I still like the gaming narrative, and I don't know when it's going to hit. And I'm just hoping that one of these projects, and I think that Gunzilla Games / Off the Grid. So Gunzilla Games is the whole ecosystem. Their Guns token is an ecosystem token, and they're going to be creating multiple different games. But their first game is Off the Grid, and it looks pretty phenomenal. And I've seen some gamers play that, and it, like, one of the big things that I think Web3 hasn't been able to do yet is get a game that's just fun to play. So what we need is a game that's fun to play and that people just want to play it to play it. They don't care about the token. But then what's going to happen, and this is what I like about Off the Grid, is it's going to be available on PlayStation and Xbox. So people are going to buy it, right? And they're going to play it. And what I'm hoping, and maybe this happens with Off the Grid, but at some point it will happen with one of these Web3 games, is that they're able to play it on their Xbox or PlayStation. They're playing and they make this achievement, right? And then all of a sudden they get a notification and it's like, you got, a silver Gatling gun. Would you like to sell it on the marketplace? Oh, by the way, the floor right now on the marketplace is $75 for this Gatling gun. And they're gonna be like, what? Wait, what? What do you mean list this on a marketplace? Like, what are you talking about there, right? So then you're gonna go and they're gonna be like, yeah, sure. Why don't I undercut the floor? I'll sell for $50. And then all of a sudden they're like, it sells and it's in their account, and they're like, I just made $50 playing this game. That's like really fun. Like, are you kidding me? As soon as that happens, it's gonna spread like wildfire. So what we need to happen though is that all of that stuff has to be working in the background. All of that tech has to be happening seamlessly in the background, that people don't even know it's on the blockchain or know about those transactions. I think that Gunzilla has a chance to make that happen. Now, that's like a much larger game. Bill Gardner here, right here. I love Cornucopia's token. I think that what they are building, if you have not checked them out, I am telling you right now, I am floored at what they've been able to accomplish. Like, it is stunning, guys. They have once a week, they do these episodes called Copy Cafe where they update the community. They have an extremely strong community, very similar to the VV fam, where they're just extremely passionate about it. They've done such a good job of managing that community and building it out. So Copy token, Bill Gardner with the Essence token. I still need to look into that, man. I still need to have a conversation with you about that land. So I'm going on. My birthday's coming up here, so I'm going to be, out of office. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make OMI is my homie show tomorrow. I got some other things happening there, but where I'm going with that, Bill, is that I need to reach out to you. It'll probably have to be next week, but I need to set that in my schedule. Be like, reach out to you and schedule time to learn more about Earth 2 and the Essence token, because, anyways, Dino, hey man, I'm going to apologize. I got a little heated with you last time, and I'm sorry for that, man. I did lose my cool a little bit, and I try not to do that. I did get a little bit heated. But look, you're saying VBA is too scared to connect OMI directly to the company. There's some danger to that. I don't know what to say, and Dino, let's play this out. Okay. Let's just walk through this, right? Let's say that they tie it to the token, and because they really make this connection, and, the team is just OMI to the moon, and then the SEC puts a target on their back. You know what's going to happen to the token? It's going to tank like our XRP did. And then they're most exchanges are going to take it off the exchange, and then the OMI token's basically dead for I don't know. I just look at XRP and it's just I don't think that they're afraid to build out utility for the token, but I think that they have to be, and they are being extremely cautious of how they do that, and they're trying to navigate this space, man. So that's why I got a little bit heated, is I understand that regulatory space so well. I do a lot of research into that. I'm reading so many different lawsuits and results and judges and all of these things that they're saying. And so I just think it's so important for them to do that. But look, this is just me, right? And honestly, I am buying more at these prices. And because my bet is that long term, OMI is going to pan out. and it's going to pan out substantially. And I'm grateful that the team is being very careful to not put a target on their back unnecessarily. So, Big A, my AVAX bag is large for game narrative. California just launched their auto titles on AVAX blockchain to cut down on fraud. What? That's crazy. Can you send me a link to that? I've got to do some more research into that. That's substantial. That's cool. And Dino, like, I feel you, man. Look, this is tough. I'll tell you, oh man, so I've done a ton of pre-sales. I put a lot of money into pre-sales, and man, I'm getting like, you got these projects that are, we're supposed to be getting our vesting, like tokens drop to us, and they're just like, nah, market's not good. We're gonna pull back, and we're like, you're supposed to give us our freaking tokens. Like, what's happening here? It's crazy what's happening right now in the VC space. Not fun. It's not a fun time right now. It's been extremely frustrating, actually. So I get the emotional side of it, right? You want to invest in something that actually does something with the token. I get it, man. And what I'm doing, like I am putting money into OMI, but I am putting into other stuff as well, because I do think that, like, look, in the next few months, like OMI could pop. OMI could pop some more. I do think that within the next 12 months, OMI is going to do something decent to great within that range. So I'm just accumulating, and even long term, because I believe that VV is going to be here a decade from now. If they're here from now and there's more regulatory clarity, the token's going to be there. And if the token's still there, then there's been burns that have been going on. So I have 2 million OMI right now in a cold wallet that is not going to see the light of day for like 10 years. And it's just 2 million, and maybe it'll be zero. But if something crazy happens, like, I'm not even tempted to touch it and just going to let it ride. But I feel you on the frustration, man. I feel you. So I wanted to address that with you. And again, wanted to apologize. Bill, I definitely will hit you up, right? I don't get what this means. You and Randy are on hard choice. I don't know what that means. Can anyone explain that to me? Big A, yeah, definitely DM me, man, on that AVAX stuff. That's crazy. I should look into GPU node AI market. Market cap is around 100 million. It's already fully diluted. I definitely have a lot of node exposure. Like, I have Copy nodes. I have I've got this man. Why am I blanking right now on? Man, the gaming token. I can't even think of. It's getting tired. I'm losing it, guys. I'm getting tired here. So, oh, that's funny. Randy is live streaming right now as well. Okay, maybe that's hard for him to choose. I got it, man. Thanks, fam. Okay, well, look, I'm gonna make it easy for you guys not to choose anymore. I'm gonna wrap up this stream, but hopefully I've addressed it. I could see no support for that claim as we break down all of the information currently available as to like what happened the day before the announcement to OMI NFT, right? So anyways, I appreciate you guys. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd love for you guys to subscribe, get my user count up, and then make some comments down below that pushes out. The algorithm loves that and pushes my content out to more people. And look, I hope you guys have a fantastic evening, and we'll catch you. It's going to have to be next week because I got some stuff going on. So take it easy, fam. Appreciate you. Bye.